beginning the summit of 1,000 species. The first time humanity was invited to the Galactic Concord Summit, our delegation expected hostility, confusion, maybe awe, but not silence. Not a silence of respect, a silence of fear. I'm Lieutenant Aaron Vale, primary aide to Ambassador Helena Cross, and I was there the day the galaxy learned what water truly meant to humanity. The grand hall of the Concord was vast enough to house small moons. Floating platforms carried representatives from over 1,000 worlds. Luminescent banners displayed ancient treaties. Great species with claws, tendrils, shells, wings, and crystalline bodies hovered over the assembly floor. And at the very center of it all, in a raised forum, stood the petitioner's podium, reserved for those seeking aid. That day, a slender, trembling alien girl stood there, a refugee species unknown to every database. Her skin was pale silver, almost translucent. Her eyes were large, liquid, terrified. She was alone. No delegation. No allies. No translation implant. Just fear. The Concord speaker, a towering being of shimmering energy, addressed her telepathically, the translation flowing into every mind. State your petition. The alien girl swallowed, voice cracking through the hall's amplification. I request water. A ripple of shock tore through the chamber. Water? That most precious, tightly controlled, life-defining resource of the Concord? Ambassador Cross leaned toward me. Aaron, note that species. The desperation is real. Around us, several delegations muttered telepathically or through translators. That is impossible. She insults the Concord. Water demands compensation. Even petitions for droplets require proof of alliance. I recognized the problem immediately. Requesting water in the Concord was equivalent to asking entire governments to sacrifice critical lifeblood. Many species survived on vapor farms, glacial harvesting, or water ration economies. To ask for water publicly? It meant absolute starvation. Extinction-level threat. The girl continued shaking. Please. My world burns. My people are dying. We have no oceans. No rivers. The null drought took everything. The speaker's form dimmed in disappointment. Water is rationed according to Concord law. What do you offer in exchange? Her eyes widened. I have nothing. A harsh clicking erupted from the Trellic delegates. Laughter. The crystalline Vondrians dimmed their lights. Several aquatic-born species hissed. The speaker's judgment was swift. Petition denied. Remove her from the forum. Guards began moving. That was the moment that changed everything. Because humanity moved first. Middle, the offer. Ambassador Cross stood. Not slowly. Not diplomatically. She rose with the force of a resolute storm. Honored speaker, she said, projecting her voice. Humanity requests to address the petition. A hum of confusion swept the hall. Humanity was the newest member. Barely accepted. Barely tolerated. The speaker replied, Ambassador Cross, the petitioner's request violates Concord Water Protocol. There is nothing to discuss. On the contrary, she said calmly, there is absolutely something to discuss. The girl looked up, stunned. Cross walked toward the center platform. I followed close, recording everything, heart hammering. We request permission, Cross said, to fulfill her need ourselves. Silence. Then, a roar of opposition. Impossible. Humanity does not control Concord water. You will destabilize the balance. They are newcomers. They know nothing of scarcity. Cross raised her hand. You misunderstand, she said. We will not use Concord reserves. We will provide water from our own. The speaker flickered. You have water to spare? Cross smiled faintly. We come from a world of oceans. Water covers 70% of our surface. The hall gasped literally and telepathically. You lie, hissed a lithic representative. No world has that abundance. Cross nodded toward me. I tapped a command on my wrist pad. Above us, holograms shimmered to life. Blue and magnificent. Earth. It spun slowly, its vast blue oceans gleaming like jewels. The hall fell silent. Entire delegations forgot to breathe. Several species collapsed into astonished, bowing gestures. The speaker vibrated with disbelief. Is this real? Yes, Cross replied. Water is our birthright. Our home is a water world. Murmurs turned to stunned reverence. And because of that, she continued, we choose to give it freely. Gasps. Outcry. Shock. Freely? No species would do such a thing. They claim divinity. Insanity. Pure insanity. The speaker's voice boomed. Ambassador Cross, you would destabilize galactic resource law. No, she answered. We would redefine it. Her voice echoed through the chamber. Humanity does not fear generosity. Humanity fears allowing another species to die when we could help. The alien girl's knees buckled. Tears welled in her silver eyes. Why? She whispered. Why would you help me? Cross approached her slowly. Because you asked. The hall went still. Then she held out a water skin, standard issue, Earth military hydration pack. And the entire Galactic Concord hall watched, breathless, as Helena Cross placed it gently into the trembling alien girl's hands. The girl uncapped it, lifted it, drank. And for the first time since arriving, she smiled. A small, desperate, beautiful smile. A sound followed, a sound no one expected. The entire hall bowed, not to humanity's power, not to dominance, but to kindness. The revelation. But the summit was not done. As the girl drank, sensors across the hall spiked. My datapad blared warnings. Ambassador. I yelled. Her biochemistry. Water is activating something in her cells. The girl collapsed to her knees, clutching her chest. Cross rushed forward, catching her. What's happening? She demanded. The speaker scanned her with a wave of light. Her species, they are hydroreactive. Water awakens latent genetic structures. The girl convulsed. A glowing pattern, like branching roots of light, spread across her skin. Ketheri, she whispered. My people are the Ketheri. Ketheri? The speaker froze. But your kind vanished millennia ago. Your worlds were reduced to ash. She nodded weakly. Yes, but we endured. Hidden. Dying. Waiting for a miracle. And the miracle, I said quietly, is water. The glowing lines stabilized. She breathed easier. Water wasn't just sustenance. It was life ignition for her species. Ambassador Cross looked at the speaker. How much water would your species need to survive? The girl met her eyes. A lake. Cross smiled. We'll send an ocean. The hall erupted. Madness. Humanity cannot support them. You offer what even ancient empires never dared. You would alter the balance of power. But something else began happening too. Dozens of species, small, obscure, overlooked, stepped forward. We petitioned to ally with humanity. We offer partnership. We offer trade. We will stand with the water world people. Because water was rare. Humans had plenty. And humanity was willing to share. For the first time in history, dozens of species aligned, not out of fear, but gratitude. The speaker lowered its shimmering head. Humanity has changed the summit. Ambassador Cross nodded. That was the idea. Crisis. The warning of the null drought. When the crowd calmed, the Ketheri girl stood again. There is more, she said, voice trembling. I cannot accept your gift without giving you the truth. The hall waited. The null drought did not come naturally. It was created. Every mind in the room flinched. Created? By whom? Cross asked. The girl closed her eyes. A machine swarm. A devouring force. They drain worlds, extract water, consume entire biospheres. The speaker's form shrank. Impossible. The Null Forge have been extinct for ages. They have returned, she whispered, and they're coming for worlds like yours. Every species recoiled. The Null Forge are real? The myths, the ancient enemy returns. Cross breathed slowly. Can you show us? The girl nodded and raised her hand. A tiny holographic storage node emerged from her skin, grown biologically. She activated it. The chamber dimmed, and a monstrous sight filled the air. Black machine gargoyles descending on a blue planet. Metallic lattices choking oceans. Nanite storms consuming rivers. Cities dried into dust. Mountains cracked open like old bones. Skies turning white with vapor siphons. Entire planets drained dry. A graveyard of empty worlds. Gasps rose everywhere. Humanity stared in horror. Ambassador Cross turned to the speaker. This is why she asked for water. This is why they have nothing left. The speaker vibrated with fear and fury. Then the Concord must prepare for war. Cross nodded. And humanity will lead. Another explosion of shock. But no one protested. Not anymore. Not after seeing the truth. Ending, the day humanity stood tall. 2 hours later, after emergency meetings, rushed treaties, and hastily formed alliances, humanity and dozens of new species stepped out into the grand hall again. The Ketheri girl walked beside us, no longer trembling. The glowing pattern on her skin pulsed steadily. Water had awakened something ancient in her. She turned to me as we approached the council floor. You saved me, she whispered. My people survive because of you. I shook my head. We did what anyone should do. Not anyone, she said. Only humans. The hall quieted as the speaker called the assembly to order. On this day, it declared, the Galactic Concord recognizes Earth, homeworld of oceans, as the first water-bearing member state. Bows. Ritual gestures. Reverence. Then the speaker faced Cross. Ambassador Helena Cross. Do you accept the responsibility of leading the response to the Null Forge threat? Cross inhaled deeply. We accept. The hall shook with a thunderous resonance. The Ketheri girl knelt, not out of servitude, but respect. Your kindness, she said softly, will save more worlds than you know. And your truth, Cross replied, will save even more. Lights dimmed across the galaxy's greatest chamber. Every being waited. Ambassador Cross stepped forward. This day will be remembered, she said, voice powerful, echoing. Not because an alien girl asked for water. Not because humanity gave it freely. But because in the moment one species reached out a hand in desperation, another species pulled them up. The hall held its breath. And that, she said, is how we win. Not through dominance. Not through force. But through compassion. Let the galaxy witness the strength of humanity. Silence. Then, a roar of unity. Every species, predators, scholars, warlords, mystics, rose and shouted in one voice. The age of fear was ending. The age of hope had begun. And it started with one simple request. She asked for water, and humanity answered.